Overseas Filipino workers toil away in distant places in the hopes of bettering their life and that of their families. OFWs are one of the world's largest categories of migrant laborers. There are an estimated 2.3 million OFWs in the world. These are courageous people who face the dangers of the sea in order to offer the best for their family. One of the most cherished Filipino fantasies is to eventually put a safe and solid roof over their loved ones' heads. With their Home Development Mutual Fund, HDMF made this goal a little more attainable for OFWs. But how does an OFW go about applying for a HDMF housing loan? Going through the full process might appear to be a little daunting. But don't panic, we've laid down a precise step-by-step approach for getting this HDMF loan for you to follow. And hopefully, after watching this, you will have a good understanding of the majority, if not all, of what you need to know about qualifying for a loan for this life-changing investment. Yes, it appears to be quite straightforward. However, locating a suitable property might be difficult at times. Are you certain you're buying property from someone you can trust? After you've decided on a property and assumed you won't be returning to the country anytime soon to complete the paperwork, make sure you have at least one person, preferably your spouse or another immediate family member, who can assist you with the legwork and obtaining proper receipts and documents. When you're out of the country, you'll need to communicate and collaborate with someone at every stage of the procedure. What is the cost of an OFW HDMF housing loan? An OFW may borrow up to 6 million pesos through the HDMF scheme. Your loan amount will be determined by how much money you make and are willing to pay, which is typically 40% of your disposable income. However, you must first determine whether you are qualified. You must meet the following requirements in order to be considered for the loan. Have an active HDMF membership and have at least contributed for at least 24 months. If you have not contributed for 24 months in total, you may pay in bulk until it reaches the 24th month. Not be 65 years old or more during the time of application and must not be 70 years old or older during loan maturity. Pass the credit background check. Have no pending loans from HDMF under your name. If you still have unfinished businesses, you will need to accomplish your remaining obligations so you can have access to the agreement. You must ensure that you do not skip any requirements in this section so that you or a trusted family member do not waste time traveling to and from HDMF offices. That is why we created a mini checklist to assist you in dealing with this important aspect of working with a government body. If any of the documents are written in a foreign language, English translations must be provided. Housing loan application forms with attached recent ID photo. Proof of income. This could be in the form of Certificate of Employment and Compensation, CEC, employment contract from the original employer, and/or income tax return issued from the country you are working in. Proof of relationship and birth certificate, for borrowers with co-borrowers. Certificate of marriage or certificate of no marriage, Senomar. Photocopy of one valid ID. Make sure that you make back-to-back copies of one ID of the following: principal borrower and spouse, co-borrower and spouse and owner of the title. Transfer certificate of latest title, TCT. When applying for condominium units, prepare the TCT of the land and a photocopy of the condominium certificate of title, CCT, a photocopy of updated tax declaration and a photocopy of an updated real estate tax receipt. This applies when applying for house and lot. Loan mortgage documents, in the form of loan and mortgage agreement registered with Registry of Deeds and with legitimate RD stamp, notarized promissory note and disclosure statement on the loan transaction. Building plans, that includes the bill of materials, electrical and sanitary permits, and other details specified and signed by the licensed engineer or architect. Vicinity map, sketch of the property. To avoid losing these important documents, keep them neatly in one location, preferably a folder, a transparent book, or an envelope. Loan counseling is an essential step that takes place at a HDMF office to establish realistic measures and achievable goals for your loan. Make sure you arrive on time and pay attention so you don't miss anything crucial. Keep in mind that this is a critical time in your family's history, so treat it carefully. After completing steps 1 to 4, you, or a member of your family, will meet with HDMF representatives to submit paperwork and pay costs. Following bureaucracy takes time and patience, so be patient. In this order, the steps will be completed. When you submit the requirements, you will be paying a non-refundable fee of 1,000 pesos. Wait for HDMF to review your application for more or less 20 days. Once approved, you will be receiving a notice of approval or letter of guarantee which you will submit to the seller of the property. Within 90 days, you will be proceeding to the Bureau of Internal Revenue, BIR, to pay capital gains tax. After this, you must wait for the release of your certificate of authorizing registration. Pay for transfer tax. Transfer the property title to the Registry of Deeds. Obtain either an updated tax declaration from the assessor's office or an occupancy permit from the engineer's office. Submit the following to HDMF. Original TCT in the name of the borrower with the mortgage annotation. Updated real estate tax receipts of the property. Deed of absolute sale with the stamp from Registry of Deeds. New tax declaration in the name of the owner. Occupancy permit and assignment of loan proceeds. Note: if you are refinancing for a property, make sure to visit your bank to submit your letter of guarantee and loan mortgage agreement before obtaining annotation on the title in the Registry of Deeds. Are you prepared to carry out the 5 steps? That's great. You've decided to put money into your future and that of your family. Your hard work is gradually transforming into a physical foundation where you can return home and spend time with the people that matter most to you. While the entire process may appear daunting at first, with each successive step, you will undoubtedly succeed. After all, you are a bold and diligent individual who ventured into unknown territory in order to provide a better life for yourself and your family. People travel to new places for a variety of reasons. Some want to gain work experience. Others want to establish a network and eventually bring their loved ones with them to migrate. And still others want to work there temporarily and then return to the Philippines once they are financially secure and can invest in more enjoyable activities. If you belong to the latter group, purchasing a home for yourself and your family is almost certainly on your wish list. Finally, the dream of owning your own dream home in which your family may grow and thrive is not unattainable. You've worked hard for it. Now all you need is a guide to help you locate the best ones and how to get them. Self-awareness is the initial step in making any major decision. You can't accomplish something if you don't have anything to give, so think about your capabilities first. Are you already in a position to purchase a home? If you say yes, how much will you spend on a home? Is it appropriate for your lifestyle and family size? Will you be able to pay in full or will you require a loan or other financial assistance? Before plunging in, ask the right and fundamental questions. You might also jot down everything to aid in your decision-making. After all, buying a house isn't a straightforward task. This isn't difficult nowadays because anything you need to know can be found with a few Google searches. After you've completed step 1, it's much easier to figure out what kind of house you want based on your financial situation. To have a better idea of the properties, go to the websites of various developers. Some even offer complete virtual tours of the model apartments so you can see the homes even if you're not in the country. Assuming you are still overseas and will not be returning to your home country within the next month or so, having a trustworthy individual to assist you in the process of purchasing your dream property is essential. This might be your spouse, child, parent, or even a close family who can assist you with obtaining documents and carrying out the essential legwork in the Philippines. In addition, your designated individual will work with your broker to represent you in any legal or important proceedings. This individual will also assist you in keeping track of important paperwork such as loan documents, loan application, loan terms, loan approval, and so on, income documents, proof of income, employment contract, and so on, and any proof of bank activities, transactions, bank statements. This is critical to avoid any future misunderstandings with your broker. When negotiating, it's better to do so over email so that everything is recorded and can be double-checked later. If you choose not to do business via email, you can record minutes from your phone discussion. Before recording the minutes, get their permission and double-check that everything is in order. Always seek a copy of any agreement, receipt, or other document for examination. Make sure that every aspect is understood. If something is unclear to you, or your representative, make sure to inquire with your broker. It is their responsibility to be as transparent as possible. If you're working in a country where English isn't widely spoken, be sure that all of your important documents are properly translated into English. You want things to be tidy, and you don't want to repeat the same steps again and over. Because you will be paying with post-dated checks, PDCs, Having a single savings, checking account with a local trusted bank where all financial transactions will be performed would be beneficial. If you'll be paying in foreign currency as well, it'll be easier to forget about foreign exchange and just convert everything to pesos. Financial transactions will be smoother and faster as a result of this. Documents that have been consularized will typically have a seal for validity and even a red ribbon around them. This indicates that the Philippine consulate in the nation where you work has validated these documents, and they can now be used for legitimate transactions in the Philippines. We couldn't answer exactly how much you will spend on processing because it depends on each buyer. But here are some taxes and fees that you should know when buying a house. This might be the most dreading part of it, but don't worry, it will pay off. Notary fee. You will need this to legitimize some documents for the process. It usually costs 1 to 2% of the property's value. Local transfer tax. 0.5% when you are in the province and 0.75% when you are in Metro Manila. This is the tax you pay when you transfer a property's ownership from your seller to your name. Documentary stamps tax. Like notary fees, this is also a kind of tax that legitimizes documents and papers to prove the credibility of documents. This is a type of excise tax that is 1.5% of the selling price. Capital gains tax. It's literally what it sounds, it is the tax paid for gains in the capital invested. Real property tax, also known as the real estate tax. This is a monthly expense when you finally have your property. The government uses the money to fund community improvements in areas where your house, condominium unit is built. Maintenance fees. The prices vary, but you will still need to pay maintenance fees monthly for, well, maintenance.